What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode number 2 of the gun guides in Delta Force. Today we have probably one of the best weapons in the game, which you also unlock very quickly in the game. So it's a useful weapon to know all the right attachments on, which I'm coming with you today. The M4A1 on the Assault class. Probably the best gun in the game at the moment. I am not entirely sure. There's a couple of submachine guns that are definitely competing with this gun as well. But it's up there in the top 5 guns in the game, that's for sure. The M4A1 is a very versatile weapon. The reason why it's so good is because it can basically be functioning on any map you basically play. I haven't had a map yet where the M4A1 is not good on. So here I'm coming today with the attachment guide. First I want to get quickly into kind of the playstyle you want to adapt yourself on with the M4A1. Because it has a higher rate of fire, you can be a little bit more forgiving with this gun. When slower rate of fire weapons happen, they usually have higher damage, lower rate of fire, so you don't want to miss any shots. With the M4A1, it's a bit user friendly. So in case you're struggling a bit with the game, the M4A1 can be the gun for you. It's a high rate of fire, but also, on the other hand, the recoil is not too bad, especially when you use the right attachments on it, and I kind of tried to make an overall all-around build for this weapon. You can really be useful for any type of range, and the recoil isn't too bad on it, again, with the right attachments. If you want to know the exact attachment guide, of course, I have a copy link you can use in the description, but I kind of want to go through the exact reason why I put certain attachments on it, what the calibrations are on the weapon, and overall what I personally think is best. Of course, there's probably multiple setups you could possibly be using on the M4A1, but this is one of the setups that I recommend using and that I figured out was the best. Of course, I maxed out the weapon, so I did some testing here and there. Didn't test all the attachments, but figured out an attachment setup that works really well. So I wanted to share that today with you guys. So here we have it. We maxed out the M4A1 as you can see. And then we go to modifications. So here it is, the full build for the M4A1. It's a very good gun. And we start off with the panoramic red dot sight here. You can also try one of the other red dot sights. They pretty much work as well. It's kind of just whatever you prefer. I really just kind of prefer the clean red dot sight for the panoramic one. You can also use one of the lower zoom in scopes. Would not really recommend going with higher than 1.5 or maybe 2 times could be good. 3 times is already too much because of the high rate of fire. You want to be in that close to mid-range area. Even though you can challenge players from the longer range as well, it's not really where the gun shines. So keep that in mind. Mid-range, close range, it's perfect. So for the rip, there's no stock on this, because you can see when I put a stock, it removes the big back stock basically that I have. This huge thing right here basically replaces the rear grip and the stock. If you don't like that, you can mess around with the stock and the rear grip. This is what I recommend using, however. So no rear grip and stock. I'll show you. It does the same when you put on a grip. So the stock kit right here, it is the first one. Is it going to show resonant 2 integral stock, increasing the control accuracy, ADS movement speed. That's a very important one with this gun, and the ADS speed. I want to quickly go to the fire range. Then we go into the full setup. So as you can see, my strafing speed with the M4 is quite fast, especially for an assault rifle, which means that if you aim on target and you move around, you can move around very quickly. While still being ADS and shooting a target, which I think, especially for mid-range gunfights, is the key to winning gunfights, basically, versus mid-range players. Up close, you're not going to notice too much of a difference when the target's like here. You can still keep moving, but when in the mid-range gunfights, ADS strafing is really going to save you from a lot of deaths. So the ADS movement speed on this gun is quite high, at least I build it to be. Then with the mag, this is an important one. Honestly, you can go with the 45 round mag if you think that's enough. You can also go with what I actually prefer is a drum mag. But if you feel like the 45 round mag is enough for you, then go with that, because 45 rounds is definitely less slower than the 60 round mag. But the 60 round mag is good if you're more trying to farm players But if you're trying to be a bit more tactical, you know, 1, 2, 3 kills with one mag and then you have time to reload, the 45 round mag is a very good option as well. So I definitely would just test both and see what works better for you. Personally, I went with the 60 round drum mag. And here we have the angled combat grip, which I had some calibrations on as well to make the ADS speed a bit faster. I'll show the calibrations at the end of the video, but here are some of the pros. It basically makes the gun a bit more beamy, or quite a lot more beamy, as you can see, vertical control and horizontal control. Then I went with the Bastion horizontal compensator, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Again, increasing the horizontal recoil. Horizontal recoil is always extremely hard to control. So by reducing that, you make the gun a bit more beamy. So you make the gun a little bit more useful for longer to mid-range gunfights. Mid to longer range, excuse me, right there. Then I have one laser, purple laser on the left side here. And for the other sides, I used the stability handguard. In case you still struggle with the control of the recoil, then you should go with this one, the Ranger handguard. Or if you struggle with the accuracy, which is also a very useful one, go with the Hornet one. I really use these grips when you use the right barrel. I really use them to compensate for something that I feel like the gun is missing. So with this one, I went with stability. I did that 3 times. And be sure to have the trench standard barrel combo for the increased ADS movement speed right here when you calibrate it right, and for the increased control, aim range and muzzle velocity, again making this gun also very good for mid to longer range. Now those are all the attachments. Now quickly go into the calibrations. There's only 2 setups to calibrate. Here I went with -9 slots. It's the grip. Increasing the ADS speed, but you lose a bit of control. But there's a lot of other attachments I put on the gun to basically compensate for the control. So to have a little bit of extra ADS speed makes this gun also good for closer range. And then for the barrel, I have the increased ADS movement speed. So there's 2 attachments that really, by quite a lot, increase the ADS movement speed, which you do by lowering the weight. Here, by the way, you can see the exact settings that I did. So that is the recommendation setup that I have. Again, I'll leave a link down in the description so you can literally copy and paste the gun. Let me quickly show you how you can do that. So you go to whatever gun you want, then you go to modify, then here above you can see loadout. There you can import and you can place the code right here. In case you want to share your code, you can share it. Here's my code. This will be down in the description. Make sure to max out the gun though, because it won't allow you to play with this gun if you or if you're missing certain attachments. Hopefully this video was useful. If it was, be sure to subscribe. I'm coming out with a gun guide for every single gun in this game, so be sure to stay tuned for the channel. I really first want to mess around with attachments and max out a weapon before I come with a gun guide. So some of them might take some time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.